Hello and welcome to Ask a Hypnotherapist. My name is Tanya. I am a clinical hypnotherapist from Chicago, Illinois, and I am here with my esteemed colleague, Jazmin Calderon, who is worldwide and global, and we are talking about hypnosis and fertility. And they are doing some amazing things. And I'm going to let you talk about it right now because I know it's something you are so passionate about, and I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited to share this. So, my friend Vanessa Herrera, who's also a certified hypnotherapist in California, we've been putting together this event. It's a 5 week event. So, it's 5 Saturdays, 4 hours each, and it's called Release and Conceive. And basically, what it is, it's about releasing negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, releasing grief, releasing sadness, anger, whatever has been holding you back from continuing your journey towards parenthood. We like to say the conceive part is not just about conceiving a physical baby in your belly. Conceiving is unique to individuals. So maybe they're conceiving an idea of adopting. Maybe they're conceiving their way through IVF. Maybe they're conceiving and getting ready for the surrogacy path. But either way, you want to be able to release those negative things so that way you can be a better parent because you're bringing in these new people into your life.
So it's almost like I just, when you mentioned that to me, actually just moments ago, I was so excited for that because I was thinking, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing to bring a child not only into the thought, into the mind, but just clearing that way into somebody's life, making that ground fertile, making that ground in that environment, just full of nutrients. It's literally like putting all the good things in the soil before you plant that seed.
Right, right. We definitely want people to be able to leave these workshops and come out with a lot of tools to continue helping them throughout their lives. So not just this fertility journey or suffering with infertility and coming into this new idea of parenthood. It's so you can use these things for many aspects of your lives.
No, and I think too that also, you know, shows a parent who is really excited and ready to be a parent, like letting go of all your grief just to become like, even as a mother, I was even thinking today that it would be great to be a grandmother, but even more so like because of all the healing that I've done and all the things that I've learned through hypnotherapy and hypnosis, and just how much it works for us, how much it really soothes the soul. And the peace that I have in my life right now, I wish that was something that I could have experienced when my child was little,
Mhm.
and growing up. So I think that shows such a huge commitment and such a dedication to being a parent that, and what an amazing course. 5 weeks is a long time, like I think that's really a very thorough course. Like that's really beautiful that you guys are dedicating so much time to that. Those are big, big weekends. And I'm just excited for all the people who are going through this course and this journey, especially to create life.
Yeah, to
How
be
beautiful is
create
that?
a family,
Yes.
right? I'm very excited. I wish, like, part of the thing that me and Vanessa had discussed is that we wish that we had these tools way back in the day, right? We're both mothers now. But if we would have had these tools before we got pregnant, imagine what that would have done for us. And we're still blessed, right? We're still blessed that we had the opportunities to experience hypnotherapy and done the healing now. But I, a long time ago, was told that I was infertile.
Oh, okay.
And we've had several miscarriages. I've had postpartum depression several times. I've gone through the ups and downs of so many different diet changes to try to make myself fertile, so many different exercise programs, supplements, going to countless doctor appointments. so many medical tests, and it was so exhausting. It was physically, emotionally, spiritually exhausting, to the point where, like, at one point, at the deepest part of my postpartum depression after the first miscarriage, I no longer wanted to be here because it was
Mm.
so, it's almost like there's nothing left to you because you're so hollow from being exhausted from this journey.
Do you think too it was the constant want and need and feeling of failure when time after time after time it was
Yeah.
coming up? And I know that there's been a lot of success with those back in the day, and I know it's so overwhelmingly expensive. And I love the idea of you healing the body first and healing the mind too, because even so, yes, we're moms and it's so great. And I struggled my whole life. I had a hysterectomy, complete and total hysterectomy at 38 years old because of fibroid tumors and all kinds of problems. And when I was going through that part, they gave me so many different medications. And I remember how uncomfortable my body was feeling. And I remember not being at peace, and I think that using hypnotherapy, and even though I was saying that, yeah, it would have been great to be who I am presently, knowing we always have that 2020 hindsight,
Oh yeah.
but using the hypnotherapy and using those techniques and using that healing to create a family and everything, I can imagine now, with everything that I'm doing, even though my kid's 31 years old, I know he gets a much bigger benefit of a mom who is in her right mind, a mom who has peace, a mom who feels good, a
Mhm.
mom who feels healthy. And that's why if you can do fertility and hypnosis and just that soul healing without all those medications, without all that, and bringing people peace and letting them know that it will come when it comes. And I'm not quite sure exactly, how all that works, but I love that it's 4 hours, 4 hours of education and learning and healing for 5 weekends. And
Yeah.
that is a hugely, hugely beneficial program for any parent, who's becoming a parent or who even is a parent,
And they might already, right, because sometimes the first baby comes easy, and then maybe the second one is a struggle to be
Yeah,
able to bring into your life. Or maybe you decide, okay, maybe I'll adopt. And then the whole adoption journey is just filled with its own issues and emotions and baggage, right? So no matter what, the journey to parenthood can be very heavy. And so we want to be able to create that safe place to be allow people to enter this journey in a more healthy mindset.
I love that. And how did you guys come up with this? Like, I also went to school with Vanessa, and I love just how bright and happy and amazing she is. She's a
Yes,
wonderful
yes.
clinician. And I just want to know, how did you two get together and decide this is what we're doing? And I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm sorry.
Vanessa has a wonderful, beautiful mind. We were trying to think of something to do together. I like to work in the grief field because of my own experience with grief with my miscarriages and then loss of family and friends throughout, right? I've had many different types of grief. I was homeless once. So, like, I've experienced many different types of grief. And so I wanted to be able to help others release it or learn to accept it and grow with it, right? There's different ways of going at it. And Vanessa loves the motherhood journey. She uses hypnotherapy for her own motherhood journey. And she's even helped some clients with hypnobirthing, where you'll be able to go into that process of giving birth by reducing the pain level and going through it in a more positive mind frame, reducing the fear aspect, which I think is amazing.
That
So
is amazing.
she's the one who came up with, like, the idea of combining, both our niche areas, and I loved it. I loved it, and then we just dived deep together.
That is just incredible. And I love that you guys created this workshop. Like, like the the spirit and the energy and the love around this
Oh, yeah.
project. It's also kind of how the parents are gonna experience and feel the energy and the love around the project of, creating their family. And it's just a really, really beautiful thing. And I know that, we're still doing, we're still doing Ask a Hypnotherapist videos because people don't know so much about hypnosis. But yes, folks, let me tell you, it is a beautiful thing when you're creating your family. It's a beautiful thing when you're trying to manifest and bring into this world any and all of your ideas, including life. And I know nothing about it, and that's why I love that I can ask you guys these questions, because it's just so many there's so many different areas that hypnosis and hypnotherapy can be a blessing in your life, can be a tool for healing. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions. Speaking of conception, no pun intended. A lot of misconceptions about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. There's so many things that we don't know about the mind and the human brain. And I know that hypnosis and hypnotherapy has always been kind of like swept under the rug. Why? It's because it works and because it's painless. It's sometimes painful when you're getting out all of those things. And that's the difference between traditional therapy and hypnotherapy. We don't sit and talk about it and sit in it week after week after week. We're problem solvers. We let it go, and I think the beautiful thing about what you guys are doing with fertility is just plowing the fields and, letting all of those things, just clearing the land and making way for just a beautiful future. And, less medications, less side effects, less pain, and more just healing, more joy, more creating. And I really, really love that. So I was wondering how it would work with both of you. So when you're doing the grief hypnosis, what are you finding that most people are struggling with when it comes to conception? Like, what's the most painful part that moms and dads are experiencing, when it comes to the topics of birth? What are they having to release most of?
I think it's more of a resistance to letting yourself feel it. So in grief work, and you kind of touched on it a little bit before, in a lot of times we're taught with grief to suppress it, put it away. We got to get through life. Come on, keep on going. You'll get over it. Just and you go, right? But grief never goes away, right?
Yeah.
It what it does is when you push it down and you don't deal with it fully and allow yourself to feel those feelings, it rots inside you
Yeah.
and it starts leaking out throughout the years in sometimes unrelated ways. So all of a sudden you're at the copy machine and you are mad at the copy machine for jamming and you want to destroy everything, right? The anger. You're not really mad at this copy machine. You have unresolved grief and anger from many years ago. And then it tends to be triggered throughout the years by other areas of grief. So let's say you lost your husband and then 20 years later you lost a friend. Maybe in a totally unrelated way that your husband passed, but you never dealt with the first one. Guess what? Now you got two levels of grief,
Yeah.
right? So in order to release anything, first you have to allow yourself to feel it. Because even what some people would consider negative feelings, anger, fear, sadness, they're not negative. They're there for a reason to teach you a lesson, for you to be able to come to terms with it and see that there's a healthy aspect of these feelings as well, not just the bogging down feelings. The reason why you feel yucky is because you're trying to suppress them.
Mm.
So you have to let yourself feel it, process it, reframe it, and then it's like I say, grief never fully goes away, it transforms.
Yes.
Right. We like to say releasing grief because it's a very visual for someone to be like, oh, let it go. Right. But really, it's being transformed into maybe acceptance,
Which is always good too, because at least there's some closure. And that's the other
Right.
thing I do like about hypnosis compared to talk therapies. We actually do something about it. When you subconsciously let these things that we've swept under the rug go, and I would imagine that with fertility, there could be some parents out there that, would, oh, the pregnancy test was negative again.
I remember that every month, every month tracking my cycle, taking the basal temperatures, and then you do what you have to every 2 days during that period of time. Wink, wink for anyone who knows what I'm talking about. And just for it to be negative over and over. My gosh, I should have put stock into into all those
Is
different
it Clear
companies.
Blue Easy?
Yeah, like it's so disappointing. And then you're like, okay, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Or then if you're like me who has PCOS, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, your period is not always on time. And so the time that time where your period's a week late, 2 weeks, you're like, oh, is it
Maybe it's it.
is maybe it is. And then as soon as you take that test, the next day your period comes.
And it's just the reminder of what you had in the first
Mhm.
place. So yeah, that's delicate. But I love that you guys have a developed tool on how to handle that grief, because I think too the letdowns, and it kind of, I think that actually would start a pattern, is if, you've been, the it didn't come out positive this time, you get that, feeling of failure, the feeling of limiting belief, and then it's just like, I don't want to experience this pain again, so I kind of want to give up, and or yeah, it's just you
There's
put
so
that.
many things.
Yeah, I can
There's
imagine that
so
that's
many different levels. And it's going to be very interesting for anyone who comes to our workshop, because they're all going to have unique journeys. So even the same person, right? So two people both suffering from, let's say, from PCOS,
yeah,
infertility with miscarriages, right? Going through similar tests, the way that they come at those tests and the prior experiences that are now compounding into those experiences, the way that they're processing that information is going to be different.
wow. Yeah, because we all have a unique value system and
That's right. We're all
everything.
living in our own realities. We're
Oh,
all coming from different cultural backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, societal pressures.
a lot of those, a lot of those. And
Yeah.
I'm just, it's such an open field to, no pun intended. It's such an open, fertile field to explore in this arena. It's like it's so that's amazing. And I don't know that there's a whole lot of people who are putting this much effort into helping people create life and create family and
Create
create
families,
homes.
create positive, healthy homes, positive, healthy families.
Wow.
Because it's something that, for me, I really struggled with. There was just so much negative grief pulling me down for
Mhm.
so long. And, I can really sympathize with others with their pain.
Yeah.
Every time you would walk around and you see someone with a pregnant belly and you felt that
Mhm.
jealousy, and you're like, but I'm not that person. I shouldn't be feeling jealous. I should be happy for that woman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I should
that
be
makes
happy for
sense.
those people that have a loving family and they were able to conceive. And um but what is really good about Release and Conceive is that we're going to be creating a community of supporting families, men, women, of who really, really want this,
Yeah.
and they're not alone. Something that's really common, that when you have a miscarriage, is that you have a miscarriage, and then all of a sudden, like, everyone comes out of the woodwork, like, oh, I had a miscarriage, I had a miscarriage, oh yeah, me too, right? Your mom, your uncle, not your
Yeah.
mom, grandmothers, your aunts, right? But even though they say like, oh yeah, I had a miscarriage, never once are they actually sitting down and talking about the pain, the physical and emotional pain that comes with it. They never explained, how it was for them. How
Yeah.
did they grow past it? Did they shove it down? What was it like for them? Right?
Yeah.
I was really, so the first miscarriage, I was really blessed. So I had my husband, but I also had my sister-in-law and my cousin who came to the apartment for the like a whole week to help me get through that week.
Mhm.
Um, and none of us have ever experienced a miscarriage. So we were all like in shock about how physically painful it was.
Yes.
And,
It's quite
you know,
painful.
it's extremely painful. The first miscarriage, I was 3 months pregnant when it happened. And so the further along you're pregnant wise, like the
Mhm.
longer you bleed for, it's all these things, guys. Basically what I'm saying is that like we want to create a community to be able to share with one another so you're not feeling alone. Because even after they
Absolutely.
left, then guess what? I'm still stuck there for another month, bleeding, going to work, trying to live through my day, being told just to move past it, just try again, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I felt so alone.
That's awesome that you have a community. I never ever even thought about it that way. I mean, I had a miscarriage myself, and it was something that, like you said, we don't talk about it. We just not even brush it under a rug. We just pretend like it never happened,
Yeah.
and that it's completely normal. And I know physically that it is. I know the uterus does its thing for a reason, but those
Mhm.
feelings, like you said, those feelings are there and they're deep seated and they cause fears, and I think it's really wonderful that you want to have and build that community too. So even after the workshops, there's still like a Facebook community, or how do you have it?
Yes. So we have a Facebook, and we'll have, so anyone who joins Release Conceive will have access to our private group. So that way, as they continue on with the journey, they're still going to be able to connect with people that were in that workshop with them, and then future people who are in that workshop to be able to continue building this community and celebrate our successes with each other, no matter
Awesome.
what that is for that person.
Yeah. So I think it's such a huge blessing. I love the work that you're doing. It's so necessary because yeah, I get it. And we're programmed like everything else, we're
Yeah.
programmed to believe a
So this
certain
rewrite the
way.
programming, right?
And
This
this is totally
reframe it.
rewrite the programming, and not only rewriting the program, it is creating a new one, and I just love that, and I wish you so much success for them with this and your community and your workshops. And let us know how we can get a hold of you. We'll probably have in the description box below all the links. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And if you're having some trouble with grief, you can consult a hypnotherapist, even if it's not infertility. If you're having some grief issues or some limiting beliefs, contact a hypnotherapist. They are always going to help with that, because that is what we do best, is help people with the things that are hurting them. So thank you so much for joining us today. Any final
Thanks,
words?
guys. You can find our website, releaseandconceive.com. Email us at releaseandconceive@gmail.com. And then on Facebook, I think you can find us, but you may have to like request if you want to be part of the group, which would be Release and Conceive. I believe it's like a hypnotherapy journey, right? Something like it will be in the description,
It'll be
guys.
down.
It'll be in the description. But I'm really, really looking forward to hearing from you guys and being part of your journey. So thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Love and light, everybody, and have a great time. Thank you for watching Ask a Hypnotherapist. If you have any ideas or any topics you'd like us to touch on, please feel free to leave that also in the chat section, and we will get with you and we'll make a video. Thank you for watching and have a great day, folks.